Hi, in this video I want to talk about Fiverr and the process of using Fiverr to outsource your ad design. There's no reason, you don't have to be a graphic designer. I personally am not a graphic designer, and fortunately, you don't have to be because there are lots of people out there who love graphic design and are willing to do it. And I will say that of all the things you can outsource, graphic design is probably one of the easier things because it's very defined. It's easy to describe what you want, and when you get the result back, you're just getting an image. Um, when you're trying to outsource other tasks that require more creative thinking or more thorough work, it can be harder to evaluate that, like programming jobs, especially. It's just more difficult to outsource those. But with graphic design, it's like when you look at the image, the final result, do you like it? Are there any changes? It's really easy to do that. And so you can utilize these services where people are willing to do it for a fairly low cost. I mean, um, so you go to Fiverr and, we have these categories. You just click graphics and design, and um, down here, flyers and brochures, and here you go. And here's all these people who have posted gigs. So these are all people selling their services on Fiverr, and it tells where they're located. Sri Lanka is commonplace, I suppose. Um, and I just looked around and found a couple that looked like that matched, like the advertisement type thing. A lot of these look like movie posters and such. I'm sure these people are talented enough to be able to create just about any of those types of things. But and I actually purchased several gigs just because for $5 I thought, well, I might as well just purchase a couple, and then if I had a couple made, and then I can pick the one I like the best and then utilize that person in the future. And it turned out to be the right thing because one of the people that I purchased that I thought was going to be the one that I went with ended up having to refund and cancel the order because they were busy or something, I don't know. And then the other person actually really did a great job, and so I purchased several more gigs. So this is the person that I purchased. I looked at these samples here in this thing, and I thought, well, those look really nice. Um, so you click on a person, and this is their gig page, and you can see what they're offering. You don't need to, a lot of times they have extras here that give you the PDF file, or you don't need that because if you just get the PNG or the JPEG file, that's high. It's a high enough resolution because you're going to tell them exactly what the pixel dimensions are going to be, and for like a quarter page ad, that's going to be 2442 wide pixels wide by 746 tall, and so that's really large if you're just looking at a computer screen, because the computer screen is showing you 72 pixels every inch. So how many inches is that going to be on your computer screen? You have to take 2442 divided by 72, and that gives you the number of inches across that's going to be on your monitor. But when you're putting that in print, you're actually going to be, it's at 300 dpi. So it takes 300 pixels of that 2,400 going across. 300, every 300 pixels is 1 inch. So it shrinks it way down, and it's a much tighter resolution. I hope that's not too confusing. There's not really anything you have to know about that other than when you tell the designer that, you'll tell them the pixel dimension. That's exactly the pixel dimension it needs to be. But when you tell them 300 dpi for print, they'll know that's a standard thing in print. They'll know that that they can't, you can't make text on there that looks good when it's looking at your computer monitor with this enormous image, and I can read that text just fine, and then you shrink it way down and it's barely legible when it's actually going to be printed on the flyer. So I'll show you, here are some samples of ads that I had made. This one, so the process of getting the spec requirements from the advertiser, uh, I haven't. I mean, you could come up with a questionnaire maybe in an email or something, maybe a few questions like. But what I've found is just a simple, what would you like to have in your ad, and can you send me over any logos or images? And if you're talking to them on the phone, they'll be able to answer that. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes they have usually they have a logo. I've found they have some type of high quality logo because they've had a sign created or something in the past, and they'll send you over whatever they have. And then I always ask for, would you like, can you just tell me what you'd like in the coupons, and they'll scratch it down. It's not going to be exactly perfect because they want you to do the work of making it look good. Um, One of the things I've also done successfully is I've asked people to, hey, can you just take a piece of paper and a pencil and just kind of just sketch out roughly what you would like how you'd like the ad to look on a piece of paper, and then just snap a picture of it on your phone and email it to me. It's like it doesn't require any much technical ability to do that. It's not like they're making this fancy, prototype that they've got to, have in this special format. Uh, the more information you can give the designer, the better, because then once they get that, even if it's just a rough sketch, then they know the direction they can go in and spend their time making it look good, knowing that, okay, it's going to come back when it comes back to the advertiser, it's not going to be like, this looks terrible. That's not at all what I wanted. Well, if you don't know what you want up front, how are they supposed to know how to build it? So, the in for this ad here, this is just like a calendar of events for this event. And you can see, so all this information was already on the website. So I just kind of copied and pasted it from there. And then the designer came up with, they put in these 3 blocks, and then this logo was too small, so I had him make it bigger. We had a bunch of back and forth on this because there were some things that were, I had to make the text a little bigger and change some of these clip art things that didn't really fit. 4th of July, I said, what about fireworks? So, but after you go back and forth a few times, and once your designer gets to know you and the things you're looking for, it should go easier. And there's so many designers here on Fiverr that, it wouldn't hurt to get to know several of them, and utilize several of them, because if you get down to the end and you have a bunch of ads you need to be making, wouldn't it be great to be able to send it to several different people and have them working, maybe when you're sleeping because of the time difference, and then you wake up in the morning and there's these ads that are done, so and you're not really spending a lot of money on it. So that's the whole idea behind Fiverr. And yeah, this last ad too is a display ad, so there's no coupons on it, and same with this one. But again, these images were provided to me by the advertiser. The designer took this kind of cool, took the photo and put this border around it, and as I mentioned in the other video, so that it just turned out really well, and the advertiser was really happy with this and thought it looked great. So, once it gets to print, I just, from experience, they will look really nice in print. They'll look exactly like they look on the computer screen. So that's all I've got for Fiverr. Feel free to ask me any questions, and I'll get back to you on those.